All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into When Coffee Meets Tea, the podcast. I'm Rob Gerard.
I'm Denise Bertolovitz.
Denise, how you doing?
You are the coffee and I am the tea.
Absolutely, yeah.
I am light and sweet today. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling
Yeah, but do you
light
drink?
and
Do you
sweet.
drink your coffee light and sweet, or your tea
No,
light and sweet? I mean,
I don't.
okay. So
I
I
don't.
drink my
Just-
coffee light, but I'm no sugar at all. So maybe like.
You know what? Let me re-answer that. If it's chai tea, then chai tea is going to be light and unsweetened, or like a little bit of sweet, because chai is a little bit sweet.
Gotcha.
But other tea, just nice and plain.
Yeah, definitely.
And coffee, just black coffee. That's it. Nice and bitter.
Yeah. And you know what? So before we started recording and filming today, Paul, our intern, was commenting on Denise's sense of style.
My shoulder.
because she has her shoulder, like she's wearing a sweater and she has it kind of hanging off her shoulder. And Paul goes, he was trying to be polite about it. Do you want your shoulder exposed like that? And she was like, yeah, why? Because I'm too conservative for that. He was like, no, because it looks like you're reliving the 80s.
I said, wait, let me get my big hair on. I'm actually trying to pull off the Olivia Newton-John look. Not that anybody
That's the
really
70s. Isn't that? That's the 70s you're talking.
Listen, I'm going way back.
See, what I think
going
of,
back.
I think of like Demi Moore and who's the redhead?
Oh.
From
She's in
16
Sweet 16.
Candles.
Yes, Sweet 16. 16 Candles.
Molly Ringwald.
Oh my gosh.
So
Good
that's why I think of like,
days.
are you trying to relive? But anyways,
let's not date me. Well, my response to him was what? Like, are you trying in a nice way to tell me I'm too old to try to be a sex symbol?
I know. And apparently Paul the intern.
It's like a little bit of shoulder. Oh my goodness.
Well, apparently Paul the intern looks like Aaron Rodgers. That's his
does.
doppelganger. So, but the
Yep.
thing is, Aaron Rodgers is a very handsome man. Paul isn't that good looking.
Hey now.
I think if
hey now.
listen, if anyone is interested, go to our Instagram, okay, and check out Paul the intern, okay.
He does. He looks
he's on
just
our
like
link
him.
tree, okay. Check him out and
Yeah,
let us know
I'm
what
like,
you think.
I'm like, hey now,
Yeah.
Paul, you're a rock star.
So
It's the '80s shirt. It's
Yeah,
bringing out
no,
the tunes in me.
Definitely. So today we're, I'm excited about today's show because today we're going to be talking about just kind of being happy with yourself, right? Like figuring out how to be happy, I think, with what you have. And when I saw this, right, and even now as I'm kind of word vomiting right now, my first thing I think of is how some of the happiest people I know have the least amount of things. Some of the happiest, most friendly people I know are either homeless or are truly living paycheck to paycheck and can barely survive. And some of the most miserable people I've ever
my
met
gosh,
are people with
right?
money.
Yes.
So
oh my gosh, so true.
so
right?
to me, we need money to survive. And not that I'm trying to turn this into a money conversation, but we need money to live. But I don't know if you necessarily need money to be happy. I think you need to have just enough to pay your bills, right? And really that's it? What do you think?
Okay, so I'm just going to jump into it like this. To know thyself is to love thyself. And when we talk about when money comes into play, okay? When money comes into play, my opinion is that...
My you really pronounced that O.
I did, didn't I?
My opinion.
My opinion is that I really truly feel that money changes people, and it can start to make you competitive, start to make you doubt who you are, start to make you doubt what you have, and are you really happy with what you have? And the less you have, the less complications, the less thinking, the more you know yourself. So, and I'm not saying, look, someone that has money doesn't know themselves or isn't trying to do that, but to know thyself is to love thyself, and that's my opinion. The more that you have, sometimes the more it can confuse you, and it's almost like keeping up with the Jones, right? I have to be like the Jones, but
when
I'm not.
When you say
being me.
thyself, you're losing me because you sound way too philosophical there.
Oh, well, I went from opinion to
So No,
I
no,
got
yeah.
all like, yeah.
I know. I feel like we're about to break out the old English version of the Bible pretty
Well,
soon.
and then we went to the market and
I know. So no, but you know what? You're right, and I think my opinion too with money is kind of like money definitely changes you, but I think money almost puts Miracle Grow on the kind of person you already are. So I think if you are a very good-hearted, generous person, I think that you continue to be that way when you get money. And if you are maybe a little bit more selfish, competitive type person, I think that can also grow those qualities and which turn really ugly when they're magnified.
yeah, but money, here's where I'm going to debate you on this is that money can change people too. And where I base that is this it's your environment on where you put yourself. So money changes your life and it will change the people around you, it will change who comes into your life. And you have to really change your perspective and understand who is for you and who is just there along for the ride.
Wow. Yeah.
And that is really a huge thing. Do I feel that people that are kind, that have money, are better than people that are not making great decisions with money? No, not at all. But I just think the temptation is bigger for anyone, kind or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it has the ability to make anybody, like I said, anybody change, anybody happy, anybody sad. I mean, it's all how long it lasts. And that's the other thing too. If just because you say somebody's homeless or they're living paycheck to paycheck doesn't mean they wouldn't love to have money, but it's how they enjoy it or spend it. Money doesn't last forever. Let me put it to you that way. Even $1 million in this world goes quickly. And it depends on what you're doing with it, where you find your happiness. So if I'm out partying all the time, buying all these things, trying to, live it up, be like the Jones, it's not going to last very long.
Yeah.
Right? But if I'm investing it, to your point, in myself and I'm being wise with it, and I'm also investing it in others. And when I say myself, I mean education wise. I mean, things that make me live better and put my head on the pillow at night. But if I have money and I'm doing all these wrong things, I can't put my head on the pillow. And then your life is not, you're not going to make yourself happy is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. So something that I wanted to jump into in terms of happiness that I've continued to learn more about is the whole aspect of self-compassion. So self-compassion is something that there's three parts. There's three elements of self-compassion, and those elements I kind of want to break down in a little bit, but the three elements are self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. So self-compassion and the self-kindness aspect is about being kind and understanding to yourself even when you fall short, right? Even when you fall short, just being like figuring out a way to be okay with that, to be content with it. Like, okay, so what? I didn't succeed in that. It's all good. Like, I'll live to fight another day kind of thing. What do you think about that?
I love that you're saying this because, again, I love like 99% of what you say. But I really do. In this perspective of self-compassion is I never even thought of this because we are taught to make other people happy, to be kind to other people. And we think, well, again, let me kind of put it, I always say we because I can't talk for our audience, right? I only give my opinions based on my experience. So
yeah.
I'm going to say that when I was raised, I was taught to be kind. And when you're kind and you make other people happy, you'll be happy. That is not necessarily true. Now that I've heard that from you, because now I'm like, whoa, that's really good, Rob. Like, I just totally opened my eyes to a new perspective of why am I not being kind to myself? Why am I judging myself? Why do I not judge others, but I judge myself? right? And I'm not being kind to myself. So maybe
Wow.
that's why I've had my days where I've been some depressed. I've had some hard times. Things go wrong and I'm really hard on myself. Self-compassion is a huge part of loving ourselves.
Definitely.
That
and
was so eye-opening for me. Boom. Like seriously, thank you.
mind blown.
Mind-blowing.
So when you think
Wow.
about, like, they talk about the golden rule, right? Like the golden rule is treat others as you want to treat yourself. That's like the golden rule of life. Treat others as you want to be treated. And like you said, you were raised, which is great, because I'm going to raise my daughter like this, is to, treat others with kindness. But I think what that kind of does is that almost forces you to seek happiness through the happiness of others. Like, if I can just make Denise feel happy and I could be kind to Denise, that will fulfill myself. That'll fill my cup, which is true to an extent, right? Because I know for me, helping others is what fills my cup. But listen, self-kindness, self-compassion, and then self-kindness being part of that is just all about being okay with yourself, like being gentle with yourself, being forgiving, being like, you know what? Okay, I messed up. Or, hey, I didn't succeed. I didn't get the promotion. I didn't get the job. It is what it is.
I am really seriously blown away. This is such a good conversation for me, and I know we're having this conversation, but I almost feel like I'm a listener right now also.
Yeah.
Because I look at that and I say to myself, okay, why? It's okay that I was taught that way, but we also need to be taught that while you're being kind to others, also be kind to yourself. So when I talk about this, we can take this to the extreme. So if we're being so compassionate for other people and we are not taking our own wellness into perspective, then all we're doing is focusing on their happiness, and we become unhappy. We become resentful. We become sad. Whereas if we find a balance in compassion, understanding that being compassionate toward others has to also involve being compassionate toward you. If you are making a promise to do something that goes against your morals or goes against your values, or you're putting someone else's time ahead of yours, you're not going to find true happiness.
Yes.
There is no compassion in that. You're actually making your life more difficult for yourself. You are not self-loving. You are not at all.
Yes. Now, part 2 of self-compassion is common humanity. And the big part of that is that realizing that life is, as crazy as it sounds, right? Like, life is truly about suffering, and with the recent passing of DMX, the rapper DMX, who I loved, I grew up listening to, and his struggles with addiction and mental health and everything have just been, pretty well documented. But he had this quote on one of his albums that was like, to live is to suffer, and to find meaning in life is to find the meaning of the suffering. So,
Deep,
that's,
right?
yeah, it is. And it sounds like very negative and dark and stuff, but it's like, to me, I'm like, common humanity to me means that life is about suffering, and we all experience suffering. And I don't mean like Jesus on the cross type suffering, because that's a different kind of suffering, but I mean like emotional pain. I mean like not always getting what we want. I mean like feeling like, you know what, something bad happened, or it could just be something personal. And when I realized that every single person on this earth feels suffering to different degrees, but also to very similar degrees, then that makes acceptance of whatever situation I'm dealing with a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had a conversation the other day with a friend of mine, and we were on this similar topic where we were saying that life is a journey. And we did mention...
I love Journey. I'm a sucker for the band Journey, by the way.
Oh my God, I saw them in concert so many times.
Did you really?
So it is. The intern's like... I love it. Oh, see now, okay. So,
So
we're going back
life's
to
a
topic.
journey.
So we were
Wait,
on
did
this
you
topic.
see Steve Perry Journey or the other guy Journey?
I don't know.
When did you see him?
Wait, are you ready? I don't know. I'm like, do you think I really remember?
True.
I
That
was
was black.
drinking-
That was the
I was-
blackout of '89.
I was
so.
drinking wine coolers, probably. Gosh, do they even make
Twisted
those things
Teas.
anymore?
I'm not sure, but
Holy
okay.
cow.
So you,
yeah,
you
let's
were having
not
a
go on that topic
conversation.
because I don't
Life
even
is a
drink,
journey.
and I'm laughing. I'm like, that's why I don't know these things. Okay, so life is a journey. This is what we were talking about. Life is a journey, and how it's so interesting in life how we all want to be. We see someone else's life and we're like, okay, like, oh, look at Denise. She's in a podcast. Look at Rob. They're so happy. They're laughing. Oh, they have such a great life. Look at all the things they have. Look at the things that they do. But what they don't see is what happens every day in our life. And we all have struggles, right? We all have things. And my friend and I, like I said to her, I said, it's interesting how everybody wants to be you until they actually have to walk in your shoes, because you never know till you walk in someone's shoes. And here's the thing. We all have different size shoes.
I tried walking in
right?
your stilettos. Remember that time?
Yes, you did.
Oh my god!
You were looking pretty sweet, I have to say.
I know. I know. But it wasn't good. They didn't fit me, so I couldn't walk in your shoes.
You know what? That's what I'm saying.
I
They
know.
don't fit, because here's the thing. In life, we are all given different size shoes, different size problems, different size issues, because we are truly given what is preparing us for the next step in our life, to develop us, to strengthen us. So where I'm going with this is it's the humanity aspect of we all have a cross
Common
to
humanity,
bear.
yeah.
We all have we all are wearing shoes, but all of our shoes are a different size. Some people's problems may be little to you, and some people's problems may be big. But you know what? Those are the shoes that they're wearing. So be compassionate, because we all have different size problems.
Yeah.
And when we learn to recognize that we're all in the same boat, yes, we will realize that it isn't so bad.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Now, the third part of self-compassion is something that we discussed during our last podcast, which is when we were talking about like summertime and stuff. And the third part of self-compassion is mindfulness. And mindfulness is truly about being in the moment. And no matter what is going on, being able to take a few deep breaths. Now, they say the proper way, exactly. They say the proper way to either breathe or meditate is to take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. That's the proper way to get that air circulation in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you can do that, if you're in a safe space, if you feel like you're in a safe enough area where you can just close your eyes for a moment and really do that, right? Let's do that for a moment, okay? So if you're listening, Denise and I,
oils.
we
need
are-
my essential oils.
we're going to close our eyes for a moment, okay? We're going to take a slow, deep breath in.
Let go of all that does not serve you. There's so much to be said about that.
Absolutely. And by just closing your eyes and taking a few slow, deep breaths, it truly allows you to stay in the moment. If you can focus on the breathing and nothing else, you are truly practicing mindfulness right on the spot.
This is so great for anxiety, because you are, that energy of going forward and just being so worried about what's going to happen. It brings you back to the moment of, you know what, that hasn't happened yet. So let me just stay right here in my little safe space, smelling my nice Transformation Young Living oil, and let me just be calm and know. And even in the car, I do that. Like I'm going somewhere and I start to panic and I get nervous and I'm like, wait a minute, you're not there yet.
Do me a favor.
Relax.
How do you pronounce that word? CALM.
Calm.
That's how I pronounce it. Thank you. My wife gets on me so much. I say calm.
Calm.
Calm,
Yeah,
right?
I do too.
My
It's
wife
very
says,
calming.
no, it's calm. It's calm. COM. Calm. And I'm like, it's not calm.
But then there'd
It's
be
calm.
no L. I'm sorry. I
Thank
can't.
you.
I can't partner with her
Exactly.
on that.
Exactly.
I love you, girl, but I can't
Listen,
partner
whether
you.
if it's calm
on
or
that.
it's palm, it's not palm. It's
No.
not palm on your
No.
hand. It's palm of my hand. I don't know. She makes fun of me all the time for the way I pronounce things. So when you just said calm, I was like, yes.
That's very
I
calming.
was like, yes. So thank
You
you.
you have to dot your I's and cross your T's.
All right. So, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We want to give a big shout out to Candlewood Coffee out of Brookfield, Connecticut.
Little positivity.
Absolutely. So Denise has her positivity. I have my Robbie's roast. You can order our coffee and tea online. Go to our Instagram. You can click on our link tree that's in our Instagram. You could go to Candlewood Coffee from there, buy the coffee, have it sent to you, shipped, brewed in no time. It's great. And yeah, super excited about it. And
Tasty beverages.
it is literally all I drink. Ever since we've partnered with Candlewood Coffee, it is the only coffee I drink. And I'm not pulling a Howard Stern and just reading from some cue card. I literally purchase my own coffee through that.
I
was just
too.
saying to Denise,
We were just talking about
listen,
that before
I buy
the
a
show.
5-pound bag of coffee from them, and it lasts me usually 6 to 7 weeks.
I'd be running around this building if I drank that much coffee.
I drink 2. Usually
Amazing.
I never finish the second one, but I drink about 1.5 of these a day. So yeah, I'm drinking about a full pot of coffee a day.
Guys,
little
and
less
when
than that.
we talk about that, like you are really the coffee drinker and I am the tea drinker.
Yep.
I will taste coffee and I might like once in a while have an iced coffee, but I prefer my tea.
I don't mind a
do.
good tea bag, but
Yeah.
but
That could just go
well,
so many
listen, well, I
ways,
meant with
but-
like the leaves and everything. That didn't sound right. As soon as it came out, it didn't sound good.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
I'm rowing my boat. I'm
I
rowing
know.
my boat. I'm rowing my
so
boat.
guys, thank you very much for tuning into When Coffee Meets When Coffee Meets Tea podcast. You can check
We
us
need
out.
a break.
You can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. Watch us on YouTube, and yeah, thanks a lot, Denise. Another great episode in the books.
Love it. And don't forget to check us out on Instagram.
Instagram.
At see, I'm
At
doing
When
it
Coffee
again. At When
Meets
Coffee
Tea
Meets Tea
podcast.
podcast.
Yep.
And check out Rob's live videos, my videos, and every Thursday, grab your tasty beverage because you and I are gonna have a tea session. So
See, Denise and I, we've been trying to commit to doing she committed to going live every Thursday. I committed to going live every Saturday. I think I've only gone live 3 times. And one of them was to open up my basketball cards.
I know that was fun. I was
Listen,
very intrigued. I was
listen,
like, ooh,
I
let's
have gotten
see.
into. I know we got to wrap up, but I go head deep in things for a solid month or 2, and then put them down. Head deep, put them down. And right now I'm in my sporting card phase because I used to collect sports cards when I was younger, and there's been such a resurgence of sports cards in the world. It's insane. I mean, cards are selling for, like a Tom Brady rookie, I think sold for like $2 million not
my
too long ago.
God,
I think that
amazing.
was a card any one of us could have bought in the year 2000, 2001 for like $2, and they're selling for like $2 million. So,
Unbelievable.
so there's all these Facebook groups that are just dedicated to doing like sports cards auctions, and they post a picture, first person to say sold or claim, they get it. And so I'm getting cards in the mail. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but it's like taking over my life right now.
I know, but that's great because I'm looking at that like it's an adult activity from the
Well,
perspective of investment. Like you
love it.
could win the lottery basically, right?
Love it,
Meaning
yeah.
you could, and I'm not promoting gambling, but I'm just saying you could end up with a real winner and take that money, invest it,
I know.
But then I look at it also as a revisit to your childhood, and that's just brings up so many great memories, and that's
I agree.
awesome. You agree? Okay. Let's see what words we can slaughter. Solder.
All right,
And
guys.
with that,
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I'm Rob Gerard.
I'm Denise Bertolovitz.
Have a good one.
Ciao.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can check out other episodes of our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts are streamed. Find us on Instagram at When Coffee Meets Tea Podcast or www.whencoffeemeetstea.com. Rob and Denise want to thank the listeners.